told your friend you're not okay.
Imagine a day when the entire world held its breath, waiting for something not only huge, but potentially life-changing. On May 1st, 2026, that moment arrived. Not through a grand event, not through a grand statement, but through a figure who had grown up before the eyes of millions. Once known as a shy teenager with simple dreams, Jungkook now stands as a global icon who never ceases to amaze anyone. Jungkook, the golden Maknae, the pride of millions of fans, today set a new record that resonated throughout the world, and top K-pop was the first witness to this phenomenal moment. International media outlets were buzzing about the premiere of Jungkook's exclusive book. Not just a book, but a concrete symbol of his widespread influence, especially in the United States. Public enthusiasm was so high that platforms like Amazon were immediately flooded with orders, proving that Jungkook's name had transcended the title of idol, transforming into a respected global figure. This success felt like a new chapter in his long journey, a reminder that hard work, sincerity, and consistency will always be the foundation of legends born in the modern era. However, behind the spotlight and the screams of ecstasy from fans, there's another side of Jungkook that often melts anyone's heart instantly. Recently, a simple yet captivating photo surfaced online. In the photo, Jungkook is seen wearing an olive green sweater, thin glasses, small, reflective earrings, and his iconic signature tattoos. He's standing in the kitchen, chopping ingredients with rapt attention, as if preparing a meal for someone special. The moment felt so real, so human, so close, and that's how the internet collapsed in a matter of minutes. Comments labeled future husband, ideal partner, and even the definition of the perfect man immediately flooded every corner of social media. Jungkook in kitchen mode is a kind of warmth that even a romance writer couldn't describe. But that gentle warmth takes a 180-degree turn when he steps on stage. In his latest performance, Jungkook appeared wearing a black leather jacket, a white tank top, and camo pants, making the entire venue vibrate with just one step. The spotlights made his skin glisten, his sweat forming dramatic lines along his arms and neck, while his muscles were clearly visible through his soaked tank top. Every movement was like a still from a live-action movie. His energy, intensity, and command of the stage made it impossible to look away for even a second. And now, all eyes were on El Paso. The city had been drenched in rain since morning, but it was only getting hotter because of BTS's arrival for a major concert scheduled for Sun Bowl Stadium this weekend. Crews were working non-stop in the rain, ensuring the magnificent stage was ready to welcome the tens of thousands of armies who had been waiting for years. Despite the inclement weather, the atmosphere around the venue was alive. Tents were standing tall, stage equipment was being set up at military speed, barricades surrounded the stadium area, and fans were already lining up for official merchandise. To an outsider, waiting for hours in the rain would be insane. But to armies, this was sincerity, dedication, a love that defied logic. Pamela, one of the fans in attendance, casually remarked that the rain was much better than El Paso's extreme heat. Stacy added that they were ready with ponchos, jackets, and nerves of steel. Anything for BTS, she said with complete conviction. Her words weren't just a statement, but a testament to the depth of love that connects idols and their fans. Salma, another fan, even described BTS as a part of her life. Like a second home, she could always return to when the world felt overwhelming. For her, rain, wind, cold, or even storms wouldn't stop her from seeing Jungkook in person. Salma's eyes sparkled as she spoke, as if every drop of rain that fell only increased her enthusiasm. The rain in El Paso wasn't just weather, it was a small symbol of the fans' struggles. A reminder that their love for Jungkook transcended geographical and weather boundaries. That their presence there was a tribute beyond any exchange. Jungkook himself had undergone a long and remarkable journey. From a teenager who simply wanted to sing to a man capable of moving a sea of people to gather in one city, just to see his one smile up close. Meanwhile, as night slowly descended on El Paso, the atmosphere, which had been filled with rain since the morning, transformed into something far more magical. Fans who had been waiting for hours began to crowd into the stadium, trying to secure the best spots before the gates opened. In the distance, the large lights began to turn on one by one, casting a soft glow on the puddles left on the street. The biting cold air didn't dampen the spirits. Instead, it made everything feel like the opening scene of a major film that would change the lives of many. Backstage, Jungkook was making final preparations. Though exhausted from the packed schedule and long journey, his expression remained calm. He knew this was no ordinary night. The Sun Bowl was shaping up to make history, and he was the center of its immense gravity. As he sat in his makeup chair, the staff adjusted his stage outfit, making sure everything was perfect. However, it wasn't his outfit or his grooming that was the focus. It was his determined gaze. A look only someone who knows they're about to face a sea of people who love them unconditionally. Meanwhile, outside the stadium, the army began singing BTS songs to warm up the atmosphere. Their voices echoed through the surrounding buildings, forming a natural harmony that wasn't even planned. There was laughter, there were stories, and there were hugs between fans who had just met that day. The rain that had fallen since morning now left only the scent of wet earth, as if giving a blessing for the big night ahead. Backstage, a crew member happened to witness Jungkook standing alone, gazing out at the still dark stage. He took a deep breath, as if holding a prayer or a word of thanks in his heart. It was a simple yet powerful moment, a scene never captured on camera, yet one of the reasons why so many people love him. No matter how big the stage, Jungkook never forgets to be grateful. As the time approached, the entire stadium suddenly filled with vibrations from the bass speakers being tested by the sound technicians. The stage lights flashed brightly, as if ripping through the darkness. Fans screamed, a small sign that the show was about to begin. The energy rippled from row to row, transforming into a fast-moving wave. None of them knew what was coming next. That was the beauty of it. The excitement intensified when the giant screen displayed a short teaser of Jungkook from his latest book photo shoot. The visuals sparked hysteria. They saw Jungkook in various moods, a gentle smile, an intense gaze, a casual pose, an elegant style, and all of it made it even harder for fans to hold back their tears. It was as if the book launch wasn't just a personal achievement, but a gift for the entire army who had followed him from the beginning. Slowly, the opening music began to play. The lights began to flash. The atmosphere tightened. Fans gripped their light sticks, preparing for the moment they had been waiting for years. Jungkook's silhouette appeared behind the black curtain of the stage, faint yet captivating. In that moment, the entire stadium seemed to stop breathing. As the curtain rose and the spotlight fell on his face, screams erupted louder than a rainstorm. Jungkook smiled, a small smile that only appears when he's truly moved. A smile that empowered him and simultaneously empowered his tens of thousands of fans. With one step forward, he began a new chapter in his musical journey. His movements, his voice, his facial expressions, everything was so alive, so intense, so captivating that time seemed to stand still. As he swept across the stage with a jog and greeted the entire stadium, ARMY felt something inexplicable, a sense of home. In the sky, the clouds slowly closed, as if making room for the night to shine. Jungkook danced with all his might, his voice piercing the cold air with an immeasurable warmth. Each of his movements became a piece of memory that ARMY would tell to future generations. And between those energetic songs, Jungkook paused for a moment, looking at the thousands of faces looking back at him with love. He stared at them for a long time, longer than usual, as if wanting to remember each and every face he had only seen on a screen. "Thank you for waiting," he thought, though the words were inaudible. Everyone felt them. El Paso witnessed it. The sky witnessed it. The world witnessed how a boy who once only wanted to sing now stood in the middle of a giant stadium, surrounded by the most sincere love ever. And this was just the beginning.